How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. And this is my iPad Pro, or at least it was, and it's one of my favorite Apple products that I've ever bought. Just going back to that was until the battery stopped working. Now it won't turn on. This is the 2016 version, so honestly, getting it all repaired and functional again would cost more than it's worth. And I also wanted to try out the Apple Pencil too, so I needed a new iPad. Well, I eventually, after realizing I didn't need the upgraded camera, but I still wanted support for Apple Pencil 2 and Face ID, all that good stuff, I settled on a 2018 iPad Pro. But now I needed to source one. So I looked in all the usual places, eBay, Apple Refurbished, but then I stumbled across an Amazon listing, and this particular Amazon listing stated that it was Amazon certified refurbished, which got me interesting because Olio made that video talking about how great the Apple Refurbished program was, so I was interested to see how the Amazon Refurbished experience compares. So first of all, it comes in a brown box. Obviously it doesn't come in an Apple box, and it sounds a little bit loose, but let's take a look at what's inside. I actually haven't opened this yet. Oh, okay, so the noise was these. Nice that they include that. I'm gonna give you guys a quick look inside the box. This is pretty much exactly how it's arrived. It does look nice and protected with this piece of cardboard, so let's take a look. Bit of tape. Okay, and the protection goes further with a bit of bubble wrap, which is nice to see. Now, I ordered the silver version, so hopefully that's the one I've got. And let's just take it out. Okay, so I actually got a screen protector with it, and this is the space gray version. All right, so one thing in particular about Amazon Refurbished products is that a lot of them do come from third-party shops. Now, this one was bought from a third-party shop, and it looks as if they've sent me a space gray model, which I don't really care about, to be totally honest, but it's worth noting that I did order the silver version, so that's interesting. Let's see if this thing has any charge. It does. Now, it hasn't been reset, which is interesting. So, gonna go set this thing up, gonna test it out, and then I'll give you my thoughts. That is weird, though, that they sent the space gray one. Okay, so I have finished setting this thing up. It's given me a chance to really use it, get to know it, and it's also given me a chance to decide what I want to say about the Amazon Renewed experience. So, first and foremost, this is the 2018 iPad Pro. I got the 64GB version, the one with the Wi-Fi, because I don't need a mobile connection. I ordered silver, but as you can see, I got space gray, more on that later, and I intend to use this thing as much as possible within my workflow. I personally love this system, especially the Pro line, and I have for a while. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I previously had the 2016 version, which eventually died, so it's nice to be back on this system, and better than ever. I use this thing for video planning, organizing my life, and even making thumbnails in Adobe Lightroom and Affinity Photo. And so far, this thing is absolutely up to the task. But what was the Amazon Renewed experience like? Okay, so quickly, negatives first. It's the wrong color. I've mentioned this a couple of times in this video, but I ordered silver and I got space gray. That's pretty crappy. Personally, I don't really care. I like both, but a lot of people do care, so it's important that they get the colors right. Now, it's very important to mention that this was sold by a third-party seller. In fact, it wasn't even fulfilled through Amazon, but Amazon still put their name on it. Following on with this, I also got the wrong accessories. For those of you who don't know, the 2018 and later iPad Pros all came with a USB-C port, which I personally think is so much better than Lightning. It's crazy. I don't know why USB-C isn't on iPhones. It should be. I'm hoping that this EU legislation does bring USB-C to iPhones. That would be nice. But I got a Lightning cable. I don't know why. But once again, this was sold and fulfilled by a third party. But despite me personally not really caring about these things, people do care about these things. So I wanted to see what it was like if I did. Well, I contacted Amazon for a valid reason as well as to find this out. I spoke to a really helpful person and they said I could send it back if I wanted. Now, I didn't want, but I did still want to make sure that I was covered just in case something went wrong, and I needed to talk to Amazon further. But say I send it in, they see it's not the color I ordered. Sorry, no service for you. Well, after speaking with them, they took note of the fact that the space gray one had arrived, and they actually sent an email to the third-party seller to let me know that they acknowledged that they sent the space gray version. That way I am completely covered, which is very nice. Oh, and one final nitpick. It's supposed to be reset to factory settings, and while it is, I was launched into the home screen when I first turned this thing on, rather than the typical hello screen. I personally much prefer to set up my iPad myself, so I'd rather be able to do that from the word go, but to be honest, not really a huge deal. Alright, so now the positives. Number one, the condition of this iPad is immaculate. Amazon do actually say that this thing should look completely flawless from arm's length, and honestly, even looking at it at not arm's length, I really can't see any damage whatsoever. This thing could honestly be new. Secondly, Amazon customer support is excellent. As I previously mentioned, it was very easy to get hold of them. They sorted out all of my problems within a couple of minutes, so it's good to know that if you buy one of the Amazon Renew products, then you're covered. Another thing, you're safe for 1 year. If you notice that it's not in the correct condition that you thought it was going to be, then again, you're covered for a year. And finally, the savings are absolutely worth it on certain products, especially if you get a really good deal. I mean, this thing was pretty good value for money. It was almost eBay pricing, just a little bit more, and you get all of that good Amazon service, and without a massively hefty price tag. Alright, so those are the pros and cons in my opinion, but how does this service compare to the Apple Refurbished service? So, as I said at the start of this video, I've known about the Apple Refurbished program for a pretty long time, but honestly, I was just plain curious. I wanted to see how it compared, so this is how they compare. Apple ones come in a new white box, and as you can see, my Amazon one didn't. In fact, it just came in this almost eBay-esque box. Third, Apple will almost definitely ship the correct accessories. As I said, I got a lightning adapter. However, Apple claim in their refurbished section, you will get all of the cables for your devices. Fourth, this is a big one. While Apple will give you a new battery, with Amazon, it won't be below 80%. Apple will also give you a new outer shell, whereas Amazon claim you won't notice any imperfections at arm's length. So these are some pretty big ones. While both are saying, yes, this will be in good condition, it definitely seems like Apple have done a lot more reconditioning. Next up, Amazon is cheaper. Usually the savings from the Apple Refurbished program will be significant, but also really not that much. Whereas with the Amazon Refurbished programs, I've always noticed them to be consistently lower price. Next up, you have more choice with Amazon. As I said, I bought mine from a third-party seller. Apple, you can only buy from, well, Apple. This next one's also a big one. Amazon is usually more readily available. The few times that I've actually been onto the Apple Refurbished section, most of what I've wanted to buy has probably been either sold out or just not there. Whereas, at least in my experience, you do seem to get a bit more choice with the Amazon Renewed section. Alright, so overall, to sum things up, while with Apple you may get a better experience, Amazon are far more available, usually cheaper, and if you can deal with some hiccups along the way, I see no reason why not to pick one of these up. It seems like Amazon Renewed is a pretty good service. Now, I am still hesitant to recommend it. I mean, getting the color and the accessories wrong is a big deal. Let's be honest, it is a big deal. But they were quick to rectify it, and so if you are willing to deal with that, the thing you want from Apple isn't available, and you're just put off by private sellers, because some people are. Personally, I've never really had many problems with them. In fact, I have a full video on how to buy used tech and not get burned. I'll put that maybe up there, probably, unless I forget. I may, in the future, revisit the Amazon Renew program, and still, while I did get a very good product at a very good price, I would certainly advise being careful if you're buying from a third-party store. Always read the reviews, but you always have Amazon's excellent service, and overall, I would probably rate this experience maybe 6 to a 7 out of 10. Certainly not seamless, definitely room for improvement, but It's a step in the right direction, and hopefully this does encourage more people to check out refurbished devices. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know, by the way, have you ever used either of these services? Have you used Apple's? Have you used Amazon's? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I always enjoy reading those. Once again, a huge thank you to all of the people who support this show on Patreon. If you want to get bonus videos, awesome wallpaper packs every month, and much more, then feel free to check that out. As for now though, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, then smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.